For developers with great ideas for apps that use AI, we can struggle with manually configuring and interconnecting various services APIs, or even trying to use frameworks like LangChain. Except, there's a better way. With full control through APIs, Voiceflow lets you rapidly develop AI apps using vector databases, large language models, and more, helping you build with the long-term flexibility you need. Hi, I'm Alex, and today I'm going to show you how you can use Voiceflow as an API backend for your AI apps and experiences. Today we'll be talking about how Voiceflow lets you easily pick and choose the technologies for your use case, how the Dialog Management API gives you full control to integrate Voiceflow with your apps, and how easy it is to get started and develop with Voiceflow APIs. Let me show you how. Currently, most AI developers either manually struggle with sending HTTP requests to OpenAI's APIs and setting up their own vector database with Pinecone, or they try using frameworks like LangChain, providing simpler interfaces to these models, but still needing to configure all their services, as well as interconnecting all their logic. Instead, Voiceflow saves you time and hassle, already setting up the integration to all these AI services for you, letting you actually get to the complex app or agent development you really want to do. So not only is it a low-code way to build AI agents, it's also a great all-in-one platform to build modern AI apps using large language models, NLUs, vector databases, and a robust dialogue engine to drive your interactions. With Voiceflow, it's easy to pick and choose the technologies you want to use for your app. You can use natural language understanding to parse user input, use vector databases to query your documents and get accurate information, and with built-in integrations to large language models like ChatGPT or Claude, as well as letting you call your own APIs if you want, like Mistral. Plus, like with LangChain, it's easy to switch out the large language model you're using, depending on what makes sense. And you can even easily use multiple different models in one project, depending on what's most adapted to the situation. All these services can either be used on their own or connected to your chat agent in Voiceflow, which can then either be interacted with through the out-of-the-box chat widget or be fully controlled using the Dialog Management API, which is great because full control is really what you want when you're choosing an API. The Dialog Management API does all the processing of AI and conversational flow for you, as well as even keeping a persistent state of user interactions. All you need to keep track of is your user ID, as well as sending requests to interact with the endpoints, then receiving text, images, or buttons to display, as well as triggers for your own custom actions, like opening a payment terminal, for example. This means you can build your app however you want around your Voiceflow project, either just making your own front end if you want, or integrating Voiceflow into your backend, parsing its output to drive complex logic or effects. For example, in a previous video, I made a Minecraft bot using Voiceflow that would give commands to run, which the backend would then parse, extract, and then send to the terminal to actually have them run in-game. So here, I'm using the Dialog Management API. When I receive messages, I look for commands inside the messages, and then send them to run in-game through the terminal. Voiceflow also has a ton of examples showing how to integrate the Dialog Management API into whichever language you're using, which you can then build your app on top of. We have examples in JavaScript, React, Node.js, and here's Python. Plus, there are videos, tutorials, and feature drops coming out regularly, so make sure to subscribe. We also have extensive and interactive API documentation, letting you get a feel for how the endpoints work. You can even insert your own API key to have interact with your project. You can specify parameters, and even show template formats in multiple different languages, letting you get responses in real time. On top of just the Dialog Management API, Voiceflow also has a Knowledge Management API that lets you manage your custom data in your knowledge base, like for example adding or removing entries from an FAQ, a Knowledge Query API, letting you query your knowledge base, essentially using the documents you've uploaded as a custom vector database, and an NLU API, letting you train and run inference using Voiceflow's NLU and your custom categories and intents. Plus, if you're into analytics and studying how your users interact with your agents, there's the Analytics API, letting you receive agent usage metrics, as well as the Transcripts API, letting you receive end-user conversation transcripts with your agents. Phew, that was a lot. So, I hope I've shown how we can use Voiceflow's APIs to connect our apps to agents and knowledge bases easily, while enabling the flexibility we need for our real applications. Get started developing today with some of the templates I've attached in the description below. See you around!